They thought silence would protect them, that if they just zipped their lips, smiled in public, and rewrote the past in whispers, the sins they carved into your skin would vanish. But karma is deaf to denial and blind to excuses. It hunts by scent, and the stench they left behind, oh, it's still rotting in the corners they forgot to sweep. Now they walk around pretending nothing happened, posting motivational quotes like they didn't bleed you dry behind closed doors. But at night, when their screens go dark and the applause fades, something creeps in. The weight they swore didn't exist. It's crushing their rib cages now. And it's not guilt, it's fear. Fear that their empire of lies has termites in the foundation. And one more crack might bring it crashing down. They'll never admit it, of course. Narcissists never confess. They just deteriorate behind well-filtered photos and fake peace treaties. But karma doesn't care for confessions. It simply collects. They don't remember the details the way you do. They don't remember how their words sliced under your skin like paper cuts dipped in acid. How they smiled while stepping on your voice, dressing it up as tough love or just being honest. They convinced others you were the problem, so well, in fact, that you started to believe it yourself. That's how they operate. Not like villains in a movie. No, real monsters blend in. They're charming. They're patient. They plant seeds of doubt, then water them with gaslight until you're staring in the mirror wondering if your scars are just imagination. But karma? Karma doesn't forget a single seed. It watches, it waits, and when the fruit finally ripens, it poisons the tree from the roots up, quietly, thoroughly. Now they flinch when the phone rings. They get anxious over random emails. They second-guess their friendships because they know deep down someone saw what they did. Someone heard what they whispered, and the terrifying part, they don't know who. It could be anyone. The assistant they snapped at, the friend they betrayed, the lover they left, bruised in the shadows. Karma doesn't need to scream. It just places a mirror in front of them when no one else is looking. And suddenly, their own reflection becomes the thing they dread most. They scroll past your name like it burns their fingertips. They can't bear the thought of your success because every step you take forward reminds them of what they tried to bury and failed. They'll smile if they see you, offer hollow greetings and overly sweet compliments like candy laced with cyanide. But behind those eyes, panic, because you're not broken. You're not curled up in the grave they dug. You're thriving, walking proof that their power was an illusion. And that's what drives them mad. It's not that you survived, it's that you evolved. You walked through their fire and didn't just come out alive. You came out unrecognizable, sharper, quieter, colder. Karma didn't just avenge you, it refined you. And now they're the ones haunted. Their dreams are stitched with flashbacks they tried to ignore. They feel eyes on them, even in empty rooms. Every time something goes wrong, a little voice whispers, "Maybe this is payback." They dismiss it, of course, call it paranoia, bad luck, stress, but that voice keeps returning, louder, more insistent, because karma doesn't knock. It seeps into conversations, into missed opportunities, into failed ventures and awkward silences where loyalty used to live. Relationships they once controlled are slipping. Allies are distant. Praise has turned into polite avoidance, and still they won't speak your name, because to mention you now would be an admission, and cowards don't confess. They pretend. They're the ones rehearsing their image while you're building your legacy. See the difference? They chased appearances, trophies, short applause. You chased healing, depth, truth. And in that quiet pursuit, you became a storm they can't predict. Every room you enter now makes them nervous because you remind them of what they couldn't destroy. That unnerves people who live off domination. You're not loud about it either. You just exist in a way they never prepared for. That's the part they hate the most, that their cruelty was supposed to define you, but instead, it exposed them. Publicly, they'll deny everything, but their behavior tells the story. Watch how they avoid certain topics. Watch how their smiles twitch when your name comes up. Watch how quickly they change the subject when someone praises you. It's not subtle. It's not accidental. It's guilt gnawing through the wires they tried to wrap around your neck. You don't have to lift a finger now. Karma's doing what you could never legally justify. It's poetic, really. They spent so long trying to orchestrate your downfall, and now every string they pulled is wrapping tighter around them. And you're not even looking back. That's what stings the most. Not your revenge, not your rage, your indifference, because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's being forgotten, and they know it. They see it in the way you walk past them like they were never significant, like their power over you was just a bad dream that evaporated with the sunrise. That erasure wounds deeper than any insult, and karma knows exactly how to deliver that pain. They tell themselves they're fine, that everything is under control, but you've seen the cracks, the rushed explanations, the misplaced aggression, the slip-ups when their mask falls for just a second too long. They're spiraling, slowly, gracefully even, but undeniably. Because karma isn't always a dramatic explosion. Sometimes it's 1,000 tiny cuts, a series of misfortunes too consistent to ignore, a slow suffocation under the weight of everything they swore wouldn't return. And as they unravel, they'll keep pretending. That's the curse of their kind. They'll smile through the torment until they can't anymore, until the mask rots from the inside and the stench of what they've done leaks into everything they touch. And as they sit in their carefully curated lives, surrounded by people they don't trust, in homes that don't feel like sanctuaries anymore, they'll feel it, that hollow echo of your silence, that void where you used to be. They'll never admit they miss your loyalty, your depth, your warmth, but they do, because what they replaced it with, it's shallow, transactional, fragile, and they know it won't last. You were the real thing, the rare gem, the storm and the shelter, and they broke it for the thrill of control. Now all they have are echoes, shadows, regret they dare not speak aloud. But this is just the beginning. The unraveling has only just begun. Because karma isn't done yet. No, it's just clearing its throat. And while they fidget in the discomfort of consequences they swore would never come, something deeper is awakening in the distance. Not vengeance, not justice. Something colder, something older, something inevitable. It's the echo of every ignored cry, every fake apology, every moment you swallowed your own voice to keep the peace. It's the sound of the universe balancing its scales, not with a gavel, but with silence that suffocates. They can't outrun what's been set in motion. Every fake smile they wear now is stitched tighter with anxiety. Every success they post online feels hollow. Because behind every accomplishment, there's a whisper. You didn't earn this clean. And that whisper, it grows louder when no one is clapping, louder when the crowd leaves, louder when they're staring at their own reflection with bloodshot eyes at 2 a.m., wondering if this is what they sacrificed you for. They made their choice, remember? They burned the bridge while holding the match in one hand and blaming you with the other. Now they're watching the smoke rise and pretending they didn't enjoy the fire. But karma remembers the heat they wielded so carelessly. It remembers how they played judge, jury, and executioner in your story. And now they're discovering that the verdict swings both ways. The gavel falls hardest when you're not listening. They're surrounded now, not by people who love them, but by actors reading from the same fake script. I'm proud of you. You've grown so much. You're doing amazing. Empty praises from empty souls. The same ones who would disappear the second the spotlight dies. Because deep down, they know what real support looks like. And it looked like you. The one they silenced, the one they used, the one they left bleeding emotionally while telling others you were too much. But now they're too little for the world they built. You were the foundation, the secret ingredient, the moral compass they smashed to feel taller. And now, they're lost, aimless, choking on a success that tastes like ash because it was built on betrayal. People are starting to see through them, slowly, carefully, peeling back the layers like old wallpaper, exposing cracks underneath. Their charisma isn't hitting like it used to. Their stories have holes. Their fake humility is starting to sound rehearsed. That's karma, too. Not a punch to the face, but a slow erosion of credibility. The room still laughs, but not as loud. The admiration is laced with caution now. Because even those who stood beside them are beginning to sense it. That unease, that undercurrent of something foul, like stepping into a beautiful room that somehow smells like rot. No one can explain it, but everyone feels it. And the more they try to prove they're healed or changed, the more it reeks of desperation. Oh, how they tried to paint you as bitter. You're just holding a grudge, they said. Move on, they mocked, as if healing comes with amnesia. But here's the twist. You did move on. You moved into your power. You rebuilt from rubble. You didn't just survive, you transformed. And while you were rising, they stayed stuck, spinning the same lies, replaying the same manipulations like old records that no longer play in tune. And now, they're the ones holding the grudge against your growth, your glow, your unshakable calm. Because nothing rattles a guilty soul more than the sight of the one they tried to break walking freely. Unbothered, they're checking your page more than they'll ever admit. Watching silently, studying every word, every win, every photo, trying to measure if you're really okay or just pretending like they do. But your peace isn't a performance. It's a product of pain, refined into wisdom. And that's what scares them. You don't need to speak to be heard anymore. Your existence alone convicts them. Your joy, threatening. Your silence, deafening. Because they thought they were the storm. But turns out, you were the lesson. And karma. Karma just pressed play on the rest of the syllabus. Now the cracks in their life are becoming fissures. That promotion they finessed, falling apart under scrutiny. That new relationship they paraded around like a trophy. Tense, shaky, built on the same lies they told you. The same cycles they swore they grew out of, but never did. Because the truth, they never evolved. They just changed masks. And masks, as you know, don't age well. They rot, they slip, and eventually they fall. And when that happens, karma doesn't rush. It waits, patient as ever, watching their empire wobble, waiting for the collapse that doesn't need to be pushed, just observed. And when it comes, it won't be loud. It'll be slow, unforgiving. The type of fall where you realize it's not the world turning against you, it's simply the world reflecting what you gave it. That's what they're feeling now. Not a punishment, but a mirror. A mirror they've avoided for years. One that shows them not who they pretended to be, but who they really are. And karma? Karma doesn't flinch at the sight. It simply shows the truth and walks away, letting it marinate, letting it burn. They try to manifest peace now. Journal about gratitude, post affirmations like shields. But you can't meditate away consequences. You can't sage your soul when you've filled it with venom. Spiritual bypassing is a temporary high. It doesn't erase the past. And the past, it's clawing through their present like ivy through brick. They built walls to keep you out, but they didn't realize karma seeps through cracks, through memory, through silence, through the very people they lied to, who are now connecting dots, slowly, inconveniently, irrefutably. That's the real horror, that no matter how tightly they try to hold the narrative, it's slipping. And they know deep down that one day someone's going to ask the wrong question at the wrong time, and their entire mask will slide off mid-sentence. But here's the masterpiece in motion. You didn't have to say a word. You didn't have to retaliate. You didn't scream, accuse, or destroy. You healed. You grew. And in doing so, you triggered the one punishment they can't escape. Being forgotten by the very soul they thought they controlled. You took back your power, and that was their unmaking, because now they're haunted by absence. Your absence. The warmth they mistook for weakness. The loyalty they shattered and now crave in others, but never receive. Because the universe doesn't duplicate what they destroyed. They can mimic it, chase it, beg for it in others. But they'll never get it back. Not from you. Not ever again. And this is where karma sharpens its blade, not out of cruelty, but symmetry. They served you chaos, so now they dine on their own recipe. Cold, bitter, with no one to blame but themselves. And still, they'll deny it. Still pretend they're fine. But denial is a prison, one they built brick by brick. With every betrayal, every manipulation, every calculated silence. They're not free. They're trapped. Trapped in a version of life that looks beautiful, but feels like quicksand. And the more they flail, the faster it consumes them. Meanwhile, you're not even watching. You're too busy living. You've stepped into a realm they can't follow, not because they're banned, but because they're not built for it. Your healing journey required accountability, depth, truth, things they buried long ago under ego and performance. They can't join you, because to do so would require facing themselves. And that's the one confrontation they'll never survive. So they stay in their loop, chasing dopamine, faking wholeness, hiding the rot. But karma isn't fooled. It knows when someone's pretending, and it doesn't play fair. It plays true. And so here they are, sitting at the dinner table with everything they thought they wanted, but nothing that matters, surrounded by people who don't know them, achieving things that don't fulfill them, haunted by the very peace they mocked you for seeking. That's the real revenge, not destruction, not retaliation, but watching them exist in a world they designed, only to realize they hate it. They hate the silence. They hate the fake. They hate themselves. But they'll never say it aloud because they'll never admit it. But karma? Karma is eating them alive. And the best part? You're just getting started, and they feel it. Oh, they feel it like a slow fever crawling under the skin, not with sirens or spectacle, but with that quiet, creeping sensation that something sacred slipped through their fingers, and it's never coming back. They scroll past your pictures, pretending not to care. They hear your name in conversations and smile like it doesn't burn. But deep down, they flinch. because you're not just surviving anymore. You're ascending, and the air up here, it's thin, too pure for people who inhale validation and exhale excuses. Now the silence you left behind has become their curse. They replay the last moments, the last words, the last text, the last look in your eyes before you vanished from their chaos like smoke in the wind. They thought it was temporary, a phase, a tantrum. But now it's permanent. Now it's punishment. You're not bitter. You're not plotting. You're just done. And that haunts them more than any revenge ever could. Because they were prepared for a war, not for your indifference, not for your peace, not for the devastating realization that they no longer matter. And that's where karma digs the deepest. It doesn't destroy their lives with lightning bolts. It does something far crueler. It makes them remember. Remember who you were, how you loved, what you gave. It forces them to see your ghost in every person they now fail to connect with. They search for the warmth you offered in colder arms. They seek your loyalty in people who smile with teeth and no soul. They want the comfort of your presence, but they'll only ever feel the outline of it, the echo, the absence. You were the light they took for granted. Now all they get are flickers, brief, unstable, and gone before they can hold it. Meanwhile, you're not looking back. You're not peeking through the curtain to see if they miss you. You're building, creating, expanding in silence. Because that's the secret. Evolution is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg to be seen. It just becomes. And you've become something untouchable. The pain didn't harden you. It clarified you. Now you carry a calm that rattles cages, a smile that signals storms. You're not the same. And they hate it. Not because you changed, but because they didn't. They're still caught in the web they spun for others, still performing for applause they don't even believe in anymore, still addicted to the same games, the same lies, the same hollow thrills. But now, the mask is slipping faster. The charm is fading. The manipulation isn't landing like it used to. People see through them quicker now, less enchanted, more skeptical. They're losing grip, and worse, they know it. They know their time is ticking because you were the warning. You were the last honest mirror they shattered. And now, every reflection mocks them with the truth. You were never the problem. And yet, they'll never admit it. Their pride is louder than their guilt. They'll pretend you were dramatic, difficult, disposable. They'll rewrite history to fit their narrative. But the universe doesn't care about their version. It deals in energy, and their energy, it's contaminated. So everything they touch now carries that residue, that decay. Their relationships are shallow. Their wins feel empty. Their sleep, broken. Because guilt doesn't scream. It lingers. It sits beside you when the world is quiet and asks questions you can't escape, and they're running out of places to hide. You, on the other hand, are living proof that healing and destruction don't always wear different clothes. Sometimes, the one who walked away in silence was the real storm all along. And the irony? Karma didn't have to break them. You leaving did, because your absence wasn't a retreat, it was a resurrection. You rose, and in doing so, you exposed their true size. Without you, they're not impressive. Without your energy, they're not magnetic. They've been screaming into a void ever since, trying to find someone else who gives them what you did, for free, from the heart, without ego. But all they find now are mirrors, shallow ones, reflecting back every lie they told to survive. And now, the people they tried to impress with your downfall, they don't even remember your name. The gossip has faded. The laughs have died. Because pain ages fast when it's fake. But the impact of your growth, that's timeless. Every step you take now sends a signal, without a word, without a warning. Your silence has become their siren. Your glow, their reminder. Your peace, their punishment. Because no matter what they say, what they post, what they pretend, they know. They know the truth. They know they could have had forever with someone real, but they chose illusions. They picked applause over authenticity, power over partnership, ego over empathy. And now they stand in the ruins of their own choices, blaming the weather while ignoring the fact they held the match. But karma doesn't negotiate. It doesn't trade. It simply delivers, on time, in full, whether you believe in it or not. And here's the twist they never expected. You didn't need to watch them fall. You didn't need proof. You didn't need updates. Because karma doesn't require your participation. It just requires your absence. And your absence? It's been louder than any revenge plan could ever be. It echoes in their victories. It laughs in their quiet moments. It shouts in the spaces where you once stood, loving them completely, forgiving them blindly, believing in them recklessly. And now, that space is empty. Forever. Let them pretend they're winning. Let them keep posting their highlight reel. Let them laugh louder, dance harder, smile wider. It's all camouflage, a desperate attempt to bury the consequences in confetti. But the truth always outlives the performance, always. And when the crowd leaves, when the lights dim, when the buzz wears off, they'll still be alone. Not because no one wants them, but because they don't even want themselves anymore. That's the karma. Not losing you, but realizing they lost themselves trying to break you. You didn't come back to prove a point. You didn't glow up to get revenge. You did it because healing was the only path left. Because your soul was starving for something real. And now that you've found it, you pity them, not with arrogance, but with clarity, because you see them now for what they are, for what they'll always be. Hungry ghosts, chasing versions of themselves that never truly existed. They'll never admit it, but every time they hear your name, see your face, or feel your energy, it stings, because deep down, they know karma didn't break them. You simply stopped saving them, and that was always the sharpest blade.